So you've got an interview? Fantastic. That's an achievement in itself, as you probably were competing with hundreds or even more applications. So very well done. Now the first thing to realize here is this is really good. You've got something that the hiring manager is very interested in exploring, and although you might not be sure what that is at the moment, there's something there that they're interested in. So approach the rest of the process with a degree of confidence. You've already passed a big hurdle in getting selected for an interview, and now it's the time that you can influence the process. No long-winded intro, let's get on with the tips. The first tip, research the company and the role. First off, you need to know about the company. So research basic stuff like the areas of business, the size of the company, a bit of history, that kind of thing. You don't really need a lot of detail there, but you should be able to describe some of the positive aspects of the company that you want to work for. Anything to do with company ethos, corporate social responsibility, all of that kind of thing, diversity always comes across well. You might want to leave out that employee scandal that was in the news though. That doesn't tend to go well at the interview. Also, make sure you know exactly what the role involves. I'm always amazed at how many candidates I interview that don't even know what the actual job involves. Not to any level. I mean, why would you apply for something when you don't know what it is? Tip 2. Find out who you'll be speaking to. This is a great way to get killer information. As soon as you can, establish who you'll be speaking to in the interview. Get their names, their roles and their positions, and then hit social media. LinkedIn is great, but also check Facebook and Twitter as well. What's their specialist area? Do they blog or write papers? If they do, read them. Do you have any commonality with their career path? Or even do you share the same hobby or come from the same town? All of this intel is absolute gold dust. Gather as much as you can up front. I once worked out that the guy interviewing me supported the same football team and went to a nearby school. So boy did I milk that from the start. Establishing a rapport, establishing a relationship over a commonality. And that interview was a slam dunk. Prepare answers to the free hits. Interviewing is really hard and it takes a lot of effort on the interviewer's side. And because of that, there are many bad interviewers out there that don't want to put the work in. In that case, you'll find a very standard set of unimaginative questions common to a lot of interviews. So as a candidate, you should anticipate that you might get some or all of the obvious questions. Like these, for example. Why do you want this job? What are your biggest strengths and weaknesses? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Give me an example of how you solved a big challenge and how you did it. Tell me about yourself. Why are you leaving your current role? Why do you want to work here? Those questions are free hits. For them, make sure that you've got solid, detailed and imaginative answers that display enthusiasm and knowledge of your subject area. After all, if you've effectively got those questions up front, you should have time to prepare good responses. You might not get asked them, but there's a fair chance you'll get some of them. As an interviewer, the actual answers to most of these questions don't really matter. For me, as an interviewer, it's the ability to think, construct a narrative and deliver it clearly that I'm looking for. And if you're stuck, make something up. I'm not going to hold you to your 5-year plan. If you really want to ace up before your next interview, then have a look at my Skillshare course about how to smash your candidate experience. It's helped dozens of people get their next job, and you can take that course free with the link in the description. Construct your list of questions. Now, as an interviewer, I really get disappointed when interviewees don't come with a solid list of their own questions. Even if you don't really have any questions, print a list of questions out and get them out at the end, because this gives your interviewer a clear signal that you're interested, engaged, and curious. It doesn't matter if you even already know the answers. It's the psychological impression that this creates that is the winner here. It's so disappointing when I ask if the candidate has got any questions and the answer is, no, it's okay. I always think this is your chance to impress. Go for it. This can make the difference. I've had candidates get the job because of the questions they ask. Tip 5. Bring at least one killer scenario. You'll find that most interviewers that know what they're doing will go way beyond the typical free hit questions that we spoke about earlier. I know I'm always looking for way more detail in quality answers for candidates. So a top tip is to have in your mind at least one killer scenario that you can really go into detail about. It might be a really good or impactful project you're involved in, or something else where you had heavy involvement and were able to contribute towards a great result. The point here is that you'll be able to reference these scenarios when you need to provide detailed answers to questions that require you to outline how you overcame difficult challenges or brought some of your key qualities to the project and helped achieve that really favourable outcome. Ideally, you'll want a couple of these. I call them my anchor scenarios, and they form the basis of many answers to open scenario-based questions that you might get asked by your interviewer. Plan your interview outfit. Well, it makes sense that you want to look and feel good at your interview. So if it's an in-person interview, then it's worth checking that your outfit is okay now, a couple of weeks before you have to do it. You don't want to whip out your best threads on the morning of the interview and discover that they're damaged or rotten. Prep your kit now so you know it's good. It's one less worry off your mind. Same goes for a remote interview with regards to your interview environment. Do you know where you'll be taking the call? Is your video or audio of good enough quality? Is there anything else you need to clean up or tidy away? Make those plans now, don't save them for the day. I've got a load more videos all about interviews and getting that great job. Take a look at this one and get started. Good luck.